Folks, I'm one of those guys who actually enjoy one piece of music more than others, and that's tabla. A good tabalchi can make me extremely happy. And we have a tabla player, or a tabalchi, Broto Roy, in our studio. And welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about how did you get in this business?
When I was 4 years old, I began under the tutelage of my guru, Bidbud Banerjee, who was one of the great tabla players in Calcutta. And my father has been in music, and my great-grandfather was Rajinikanth Sen, and my uncle is Dilip Roy. All of these are famous singers. And, so they just put me, because they needed an accompanist. So there I was trained since I was 4. I keep going back to my guru and studying from others. I've studied from various tabla gurus because there are many schools of thought in tabla drums.
In the olden days, it used to be music dynasties. You know, families used to play together, and there was no really school where you went to learn, other than if you were related to somebody. How has it changed over the years?
Nowadays, there are lesser dynastic influence, and there's more of a college idea. It's creeping into the Indian form of instruction. Thank God, because it was dying out. Especially the classical wizards, they would only teach their sons. And what if, their sons weren't interested or didn't blossom? And so it was gradually dying out. And the Indian system of thought in music is 2,000 years old. Because it comes from the Vedas. That's why they call Sangeet, which is the dance, the music, the instrumental music, and the vocal music. All combined is called Sangeet. Originally it began in the temples. In the large Indian temples there was a lot of dance, a lot of music. Then when the British came, the musicians interceded into families and rajas and maharajas, and the court music began. And then when the British left, they dissolved all the principalities and all the kingdoms, so the musicians were forced to go onto the stage.
You went to William and Mary College here in the United States to learn the music. What did it teach you?
It taught me how to be flexible, because in India, the accent is on spirituality. So I would need to wash my hands before playing. My guru would force me to, go through various rituals before I even touch the instrument. And he taught me that it was a connection to the spirit. And that's how devotional music, devotion is a very big part of the character of music there. Whereas here, it's much more entertainment.
That's right.
And so I've learned to change my approach. Like when I teach, I don't insist on them doing all those rituals anymore. I just ask them to explore the instrument on their own and come up with their own ways of looking at it and feeling it and figuring out the sounds. And the tabla is very scientific because it has its own language. So tabla players, there are 40 million of us in India.
Wow.
That's why I'm here. We can speak with each other in the tabla language. So each stroke on the drum has its own name. It's a syllable. So, for example, this one is a dha, tete, thun, kat. So one tabla player could talk to another saying, dha din tagartakatha. Where did you go last night? he learns, I was in your house waiting for you. Things like that, you know.
Tabla is a language.
It's a language.
Wow.
And you literally play what you learn. And you literally memorize the syllables, and there are millions of compositions. It is the most sophisticated form of percussion in the world, as far as I know.
You know, it always makes me wonder that the artists come in on the stage and there's a huge audience waiting for them, and for the first 15 or 20 minutes they're testing their equipment at the top. It's just so boring at that time. Right. So you don't allow that.
No, the etiquette has had to change, because as we were talking, I went to William and Mary here, and they taught me that you just hit it once rather than hit it hundreds of times to know where the tone is. You've got to pay attention and listen really hard, and you just hit it once. So there's lots of Western things which I've adopted. The system of orchestration, because I write my own pieces, and I hire Western musicians to do the guitar, the bass, the drums, but it's my ideas in the music which they're blossoming. 30 years ago, when I first came to the West, there were fewer Indians here. And so when I would tune, they'd say, "Why did you break your instrument?" Because we use a tuning hammer. Things like that. But now it's changed, and it's so befitting on this July 4th that we're talking about it, because I've seen America go through a massive transition. From then, now there are many of us, Indian Americans, here. And they know about us, and they deal with us like it's no longer you're an Indian lawyer or an Indian engineer. You're just a lawyer or an engineer, or the identity has shifted. They're transcending race.